Walked away from a marriage built on lies. A decade later, my daughter showed up, begging me to explain why I left. I placed a stack of court papers in her hands. Your mother never told you the real story. My name's Ray. I'm 52 now, living in a small town in central Kentucky. People around here don't ask too many questions, and that's always suited me fine. 10 years ago, I walked out of my old life and never looked back. Didn't even pack much. Just a couple of bags and a folder full of documents that still make my stomach turn every time I open it. Back then, I lived with my wife Mallory and our daughter Tara in Lexington. We were married for 7 years. To the outside world, we looked like a normal couple. I worked full-time as a delivery driver for a supply company. Mallory was a dental assistant. Tara was just a little kid then, always smiling, always running to the door when I came home. I was the guy who showed up for everything. PTA meetings. Doctor's appointments. Birthday parties. I wasn't perfect, but I was present. I gave everything I had to that family. And I thought that counted for something. Looking back, there were signs. But I ignored them because I didn't want to believe I'd built my life on a lie. Mallory was charming. Too charming, sometimes. She could sweet-talk anyone, especially me. The kind of woman who could have you apologizing for things she did. She had this way of turning everything around until you were the one feeling guilty. She started staying late at work. Said the office was short-staffed. Sometimes she wouldn't come home until after 10. I'd ask questions. She'd get mad. Said I didn't trust her. And like an idiot, I backed off. Then she got pregnant. That changed everything, at least for a while. She was affectionate again. Kind. She'd make dinner, sit close on the couch, act like we were newlyweds again. I told myself we were just going through a rough patch before. When Tara was born, I cried like a baby. Held her in my arms and thought, this is it. This is the reason for everything. I loved that kid more than life itself. But Mallory went right back to her old ways. Disappearing. Texting late at night. Hiding her phone when I walked in the room. One night I came home early from work. She didn't hear me come in. Her phone was on the counter, buzzing. I saw the name, Mike, pop up. I opened the message. It said, "She's still got no clue, lol." I went digging. Couldn't stop myself. I read every message. Every photo. Every conversation they'd had for years. They'd been together the whole time. Even before Tara. There were even messages from the month Tara was conceived, talking about how I'd never know, how I'd raise their mistake, like a fool. That night I didn't sleep. I sat on the couch and stared at nothing for hours. I felt sick. I felt humiliated. I felt like the biggest idiot on the planet. I confronted her the next day. She denied it all at first. Called me paranoid. Then I told her I saw the messages. Her face dropped. She started crying, begging me not to leave. Said it was over, that she made a mistake. That it didn't mean anything. Said she didn't want to destroy our family. I didn't believe a word of it. I didn't trust her anymore. But I still loved Tara, so I didn't walk out. Not yet. Instead, I went behind her back and got a paternity test. I had to know. Deep down, I think I already did. The results came back, 0% probability of paternity. I sat in my truck for an hour just staring at the paper. Everything inside me broke. I didn't tell Mallory. Not right away. I wanted to think. I wanted to figure out what to do. I tried to keep being a dad to Tara, but it got harder and harder. Every time she called me Dad, I felt like a fraud. I hated Mallory for doing this to me. For making me fall in love with a little girl who wasn't mine. Eventually, I filed for divorce. I still wanted to see Tara. I didn't care what the DNA said. She was my kid in every way that mattered. But Mallory didn't want that. She said if I wasn't the biological father, I had no right. Her lawyer agreed. The court agreed. Said I had no legal standing. I fought. I begged. I tried everything. But it didn't matter. So I walked away. People thought I was a monster. A deadbeat. A coward. My own parents couldn't understand. My friends stopped calling. I didn't explain, because how do you even begin to tell that kind of story? I started over in a small town no one's ever heard of. Changed my number. Got a new job. Kept my head down. 10 years passed. Last summer, there was a knock at my door. I opened it, and there she was. 17. Tall. Dark hair. Same smile. "Hi," she said. "Are you Ray?" I just stared at her. I couldn't speak. "I'm Tara," she said. "Can I talk to you?" I nodded and stepped aside. We sat at the kitchen table. She said Mallory told her I walked out on them. That I abandoned them. That I didn't care. She asked why I left. Why I never tried to find her. I didn't say a word. I got up, walked to the hallway closet, and pulled out the folder. Same one I'd kept all these years. I set it down in front of her. "Your mother never told you the real story." Tara opened the folder like she wasn't sure what she was about to find. I watched her eyes move over the pages. The DNA test was on top. She read it slowly. Then again. "What is this?" she asked. "It's proof," I said. "Proof of what?" "That I'm not your biological father." She blinked, her mouth slightly open. "That's not true." "It is. I had it done when you were a baby. After I found out your mom was cheating." Her face went pale. She said you cheated? That you were mean? That you left us for someone else?" I sat back. It still hurt hearing what Mallory told her. Even after all this time. "No, Tara. I didn't cheat. I didn't leave for someone else. I left because your mom lied to me. For years. She let me think you were mine. She knew the truth, and she kept it from me." Tara looked back at the folder. She flipped past the test results and hit the printouts of the text messages. I'd saved screenshots. Emails. All of it. She read in silence. Her hands started to shake. "No. She wouldn't do this," she whispered. "She did," I said. "And when I found out, I tried to stay. For you. I begged to be part of your life. I went to court. She shut me out." She looked at me, her eyes glassy. "You didn't fight hard enough." That hit me like a gut punch. "I fought until there was nothing left to fight with," I said. "And when the court said I had no rights, your mom made sure I didn't see you again. She told everyone I walked out. I didn't. I was pushed out." She shook her head. "Why didn't you come back later? When I was older?" I sighed. "Because I didn't know if you'd even remember me. Because I thought you were better off not knowing any of it. Because I was broken, Tara. I had nothing left." Tara stood up and started pacing. She was breathing heavy. "I don't know what to believe," she said. "Everything I thought I knew." I stayed quiet. I didn't want to push her. Let her think. Let her feel it. She turned suddenly. "Why now? Why tell me this now?" "Because you showed up at my door," I said. "Because you asked?" We sat there in silence for a while. Then she said something I didn't expect. She married him. Mike. 3 years ago. I looked at her. "She made me call him Dad," Tara said. "I always hated it. He'd try, but it wasn't the same." "Of course it wasn't. Because no matter what biology says, love builds a father. Not DNA." "She lied to me too, didn't she?" she said, almost to herself. I didn't say anything. I didn't need to. Then she asked the question that cracked everything wide open. "Why didn't you tell the court she cheated? That I might not be yours?" "I did," I said. "My lawyer brought it up. But Mallory's lawyer claimed I waited too long to contest paternity. They called it parental estoppel. Said I acted like your dad too long to back out. But that only worked against me when I asked for custody. The judge said if I wasn't the legal father, I had no claim. She sat down again, slower this time. So you just disappeared? I lost everything, Tara. And your mom made sure I stayed gone. She looked at me. Can I stay here tonight? That surprised me. I don't want to go back yet. Not until I figure this out, she said. I nodded. You can stay. She went to the spare room, used to be my office, now just a storage space with a bed. She shut the door without another word. I sat in the kitchen, alone again. Everything was stirring back up. But something was different this time. I wasn't the one chasing the truth anymore. Now she was. And I knew Mallory wasn't going to take that quietly. Tara stayed the night. Didn't say much in the morning. Just nodded when I offered her toast and coffee. She looked like she hadn't slept at all. Neither had I. By noon, her phone started blowing up. She had it face down on the table, but it kept buzzing. She knows I'm here, she muttered. Mallory? She nodded. She went through my messages. She's freaking out. Says you're trying to poison me against her. Says you're a liar? Of course she did. That woman could twist anything. Even now. I'm not going to tell you what to believe, I said. But you have a right to the truth. Even if it hurts. She stared at me for a while. Then picked up her phone and typed something. I didn't ask what. Around 2 p.m., she got up and said she wanted to go for a walk. I offered to go with her, but she said no. Needed space. I let her go. I started to worry when she didn't come back after 2 hours. By 4, I was pacing. By 5, I heard a knock on the door. I opened it, and there was Mallory. She looked exactly the same, just older. Same cold eyes. Same smug tilt to her mouth. Well, she said, isn't this cute? You always did like playing victim. I didn't invite her in. Just stood in the doorway. She's not going to stay here, Mallory said. Don't think you're going to turn her against me. You had your chance. You threw it away. I kept my voice calm. She came to me. I didn't look for her. She wanted answers. You had no right to show her those papers. She snapped. She's just a kid. She's 17. I said. Old enough to ask questions. Old enough to hear the truth. Mallory took a step forward. You're nothing to her. Legally, emotionally, biologically, nothing. I looked her in the eye. Funny. You said I was her father when you needed me to pay the bills. When you needed someone to hold her in the hospital. When you needed someone to stay up all night so you could sleep. Her jaw clenched. She's confused, Mallory said. And when she gets her head straight, she'll come home. I didn't reply. She looked past me into the house. Where is she? Out, I said. Mallory leaned in, voice low. You think she's going to stay here with some sad old man she barely remembers? She's coming back with me. And if you try to keep her, I'll have the police here so fast your head'll spin. I'm not keeping anyone, I said. She's free to choose. Mallory stared me down for a few more seconds, then turned and walked away without another word. I watched her drive off, tires screeching at the end of the road. Tara came back an hour later. Said she saw the car. She knew her mom had been here. She always does that, she said. Tries to scare people into doing what she wants. She tried it on me, too, I said. Tara sat down, pulled out her phone again. I messaged Mike. Told him I knew. That got my attention. What did he say? He told me to be careful around you. Said you've always been unstable. That you threatened them. I shook my head slowly. Never happened. But I'm not surprised. I asked him why he let my whole life be a lie. He left me on read. That night, Tara didn't sleep in the guest room. She stayed on the couch, texting, thinking, crying. I didn't push. But the next morning, the twist came. She showed me a new message. It was from a name I didn't recognize, Kendra J. Do you know her? she asked. I shook my head. She says she's Mike's ex. And that she's got something I need to see. That's when I started to realize we weren't at the end of this. We were just getting started. Tara messaged this Kendra back. She was quiet about it, didn't tell me much at first. Just said she wanted to meet the woman in person. I offered to come, but she said no. I waited. That night she came back with a look I hadn't seen on her before. Stone cold. Shaken, but solid. She handed me her phone. Kendra had sent her screenshots. Dozens of them. Messages from Mike. From the last few years. Before and after he married Mallory. Turned out, Mike wasn't just a cheater. He was a manipulator. He'd been involved with Kendra for years. Even while married to Mallory. And not just that, he'd told Kendra everything. That Mallory tricked me into raising Tara. That he knew she lied to the court. That it was all a game to them. They laughed about me. Called me the free babysitter. Called Tara the insurance policy. Tara sat at my kitchen table and stared at the wall for almost an hour after reading those. Then she stood up and said, I want to go back. I want to confront them. Both of them. I tried to stop her, but she wouldn't listen. She was past listening. So I drove her. I told her I'd wait in the car, but I wanted to be close in case things got ugly. She walked in that house like she owned it. It was quiet. Then yelling. Then screaming. Mallory's voice. Then Mike's. Then Tara's. Her voice cracked through the air like thunder. You lied to me. Both of you. My entire life was a lie. I saw Mallory come to the window, flustered, looking out like she wanted help. I stayed put. Then Tara came back outside, red-faced, shaking, tears in her eyes. I'm done, she said. I told them I'm filing for emancipation. I told them I'm not coming back. We drove home in silence. The next few days were a blur. Tara filed papers with a legal aid office in town. She started therapy. She asked if I could help her with school, with a place to live. I said yes. I had no legal tie to her. But I didn't need one anymore. We were building something again, on truth, not lies. Mallory tried to fight back. Claimed I was manipulating her. Sent threats. Called my job. Said I was a danger. Didn't work. Then one day, I got a message from Kendra. You should check the county clerk's site, she said. I did. Mike had been arrested. Fraud. Apparently, he'd been embezzling money from a landscaping company he worked for. He was already on probation from a previous charge I'd never even known about. That wasn't all. Turns out, the paternity lie wasn't a one-time thing for Mallory. There was another man, back when she was younger. A restraining order. A sealed case. It all came out once the heat was on. And Tara? She testified. In court. On the record. Told the whole damn story. Mallory tried to interrupt. Judge shut her down. I spent my whole life thinking my dad didn't love me, Tara told the judge. But the truth is he tried. She kept him away. When it was over, Mallory got slapped with a hefty fine for lying under oath in the original paternity case. They opened a review of her role in Mike's fraud too. Mike got 2 years. Mallory lost everything. Her marriage. Her job. Her reputation. Her grip on Tara. I didn't dance on the ruins. But I didn't feel sorry either. I'd been a fool. I stayed quiet too long. I let shame win. But not anymore. Tara lives with me now. Legally. She chose it. She doesn't call me Dad every day, but when she does, it means something real. We don't pretend the past didn't happen. We face it. Together. And every now and then I open that old folder one last time, then I toss another piece of it into the fire. Because some stories need to be remembered. And some lies need to burn.